Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Falcons, the Men of North Catholic. Today I have with me Bob Folger, Jr., if I'm not mistaken, class of 1987. Bob, how are you doing?
Good. How are you tonight, John?
Doing well, doing well. It's great to have you on. Your first time interviewee, which is great.
I'm a bit nervous.
Nah, it's just a conversation between you and I, and then everybody will see it later and get to throw popcorn at the screen.
Great. Thank you.
So, Bob, what parish did you come from?
I came from St. George's in Port Richmond. I grew up in Port Richmond, so it was St. George's.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm a Port Richmond guy myself, went to St. Albert's right up the street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I grew up at Thompson and Venango.
Very cool. My first home that I owned was at Edgemont and Ontario, 3414 to be exact.
Wow, we were 3621 Thompson Street.
Very cool. So let me ask you, Bob, why did you choose North Catholic?
Well, I actually didn't choose North at first. I went to St. Joe's Prep, but in 6 months I was asked to leave, and then I went on to North Catholic. It's a funny story.
Oh, if you want to share, feel free.
What happened is I was standing up down at St. Joe's Prep at times, and I was yelling profanities in the middle of class. And down there, the priest thought I was acting up. They thought I was on drugs. They tried to talk to me several times. I said, I'm not doing anything. So they called my father. My father came down and said, I know the way he is. He said, it's time to move on to North Catholic. So I went up to North, and it was funny. About a week into North Catholic, the same thing happened. I would find myself in jug. So it went on for a few weeks, and then finally Father Howarth came up to me one day and he said, Bob, I got to ask you right out. Are you doing anything, taking any? I said, no, Father, I have no idea why I am here. So he said, I'll keep an eye on you. So a day or two went by, and I stood up in another class. He ran down, and to make a long story short, here I was having a rare type of seizure, and I was told I have epilepsy. So thank goodness they stuck behind me, but I am so glad that it was at North, and they stood by me there.
Maybe it was a sign, Bob, that, at St. Joe's Prep wasn't the answer.
I think it was, and I'm very happy at North and that I graduated from there. It was a great time in my life.
Very cool. So did you participate in any sports at North Catholic? Any other programs?
Yes, I was blessed to be on the baseball team. And in 1986, I was lucky to be on the championship team. And we took the Catholic title that year. And that was a huge step in my life. It was an honor to be there at North Catholic and to celebrate.
So you were on a team with Dickie Wild, Richie Wild.
Yes.
I heard he was second team All Catholic.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
That's just a joke I was told to put out there.
No, it was such a great team. I was on there with Joe Gillespie, Kevin and Kenny Sanger. It was just a great group. It was really a great time in life. We all got together well, and with Mr. Connie, we went and we took the title.
I played baseball. I should say all 4 years, but my 1 year I quit because what happened was varsity was having a very bad year, and they merged JV with varsity. And Mr. Connie was the coach, man, and he was hard, man. And I'm like, yeah, he was. And I was like, I ain't dealing with this shit. So I left, and my senior year, I had to be carried as a walk-on, believe it or not.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, but so baseball, I mean, everybody knows North Catholic, a lot of camaraderie, good times, this and that. I can only imagine some of the stories you have on those bus rides up to like Conwell Egan or O'Hara or whatever.
Oh, they were tense times because we were put on that field, and I wasn't a starter at the time. I was a pitcher that came in and relieved for several innings, but it was just it was a tough atmosphere because the rivalries were really there, and it puts you in an atmosphere that was incredible and so hard to explain. But we were a team that stuck together. We went down in a few games, we were behind, but we came back and we always won. Wow. We had an outstanding year.
Now, didn't you guys go undefeated?
Yes, yes, we did.
That's crazy, especially and in a Catholic league at that time, even into the night. Like I graduated in '92, like before the PIAA took over. I mean, the Catholic League Red Division, I believe it was called, or the Catholic League North was a strong division.
Oh, there were a lot of good players out there. We had Javier Beretta, who was on our team. Javier was an outstanding player. Joe Gillespie, who could throw a ball harder than anyone I knew. Kevin and Kenny Sanger. We were top notch. I was lucky to play with some incredible athletes. Dave Master Pietro, who Dave was incredible in a number of sports. And we all stuck together and we all just kept battling at it and we were lucky.
Now, let me ask you this question. Because a lot of times, like North Catholic sports, there's a majority like kids like this sports program might be all here, this part of the neighborhood over, this part might be over this neighborhood. What was the baseball team in '86? What were the neighborhoods comprised of?
Well, we got a couple of players. I grew up in Port Richmond, but I played most of my ball life in Bridesburg. So I grew up playing with myself in Bridesburg, Tommy Hewitt, who was our shortstop or second baseman at the time. He was in Bridesburg. We had played together growing up. We had Kevin and Kenny Sanger, who played in the Port Richmond area. A couple of the players played for the PAL League. So it was more of a Port Richmond, actually Juniata and a Bridesburg combination that all pulled in together.
I often call it the tri-state area of Philadelphia, right? You have,
Sure.
Port Richmond, Bridesburg, Juniata, even you can even throw Kensington in there,
Yeah, that's true. Kensington was part of it too.
Yeah. So let's head back to the school part. Cafeteria food. What was the food back then? I mean, my era was cheese fries. What was your guys?
I was the hamburgers and the hot dogs at the time, but I'll tell you, my favorite part of the cafeteria were the donuts in the morning. I think it's the 86 yearbook that I'm actually in there with a picture of I used to eat about 10 or 11 donuts in the morning. The donuts were out of this world in the morning, but we were kind of blessed in a way that the Lord was looking down because the food was tremendous. And everything there, like you said, the French fries with the cheese, incredible.
I remember a couple guys at one time, I don't know what it was they were eating, but after, like you would go in the morning time, guys wouldn't do their homework. They would do it in the morning time, eat the donuts. And by first or second period, they ended up in the nurse's office getting Pepto-Bismol.
I'm telling you, I ate so many donuts. I was sick a number of times. But like you said, it was funny because you didn't do the homework the night before. So you'd say to somebody else, look, do problems 1 through 10. I'll do 11 through 20. Let me eat first and then you can eat. And you look back now and you really laugh.
You know what, dude? It brings tears to my eyes still. But it's just so true, man. It's so true. Let me ask this. Who would have been your favorite teacher out of either the regular teacher, the oblates, or even both? Who would have been your favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher, I would say, was Father Howard. He was a tough guy, but he always took that extra step to try to hang in there with you and really to get you to understand it. I would say Father Joe Howard. He was really down to earth. I mean, the whole load of teachers there were just incredible. But for me, it was Father Howard. Father Joe Howard he was always there to help you. He knew that, okay, come on, you were messing around last night. Let's go really get into it. And Father Howard was my favorite. And
then looking at the one picture you sent me, he was also the baseball moderator.
Yeah, he was the baseball moderator also. So he kind of knew those of us that were playing sports what our priority was and not, but he gave us the little hit in the back to make sure that you get your education too.
Yeah, yeah. So what would have been your fondest memory of North Catholic?
My fondest memory, I guess, is the support that I got when I was battling the epilepsy and the prom, but the graduation, because everybody came up to you on the graduation, especially Father Dalton, who during the regular year, he was the rough guy. They all came up and showed you how proud they were of you and how you got from step A. And they told you, take a look at yourself now. You've come an incredible way. And it really gave you that attitude not to be afraid to walk out the door and take on college or take on employment. They really supported you.
I had a true Father Dalton story. I had geometry, and let alone I couldn't draw a straight line without a ruler. I just was bad at geometry. And as long as if you failed your test and you rewrote the test, like you did it for homework, he would give you a 70. So, I mean, it really made it hard for you to fail. Like if you did, it was on you.
Well, the algebra was probably my hardest one, but Mr. Atkinson, they had it all. He kind of was the same way. If you gave it your effort and got all the way in there, he would give you that 70, knowing that you really worked at it.
Yeah. So, do you remember any of the proms that you went to, and any of the themes that you had?
Oh yeah, it's actually funny. I had to. My mother passed away 2 years back, but we just went through, my father and I, through all the pictures. And my father is a graduate of '66, and yeah, we found all my prom pictures, graduation pictures. It brought back a lot of really good memories, because as you get older, you forget about all those good times. And I wish we could go back and live it again.
Yeah, they were some good times. And I know my pictures are somewhere at my mom's house too, but like you said, you had to go through stuff in order to find it. So let me ask you this: when you said you had jug a lot because of your situation. Now most guys earn jug, and hey, you earn your time, you get it. You didn't earn it. Was any time ever given back to you?
Not really. Looking back, I mean, the type of seizure that I took was a rare one. I literally would just stand up and yell out profanity after profanity. Next thing I know, I'd be down at the dean, and he'd be sitting there, as Mr. Kaczynski would be just like, "Bob, what are you doing? You're not going to get away with this." Oh. And I'd be at jug the next morning, and they'd be like, "Bob, how could you pull that off yesterday? You're going to be here every day this week." But you live and you learn. And looking back, those are the funniest moments.
Yeah. Each era has, there were pranks that they used to play on freshmen or lower classmen. And you've heard everything from swimming pools to bowling alleys to watching a falcon fly. During your era in your senior year, what kind of pranks did you guys play on people?
We did a lot. We would go into class and you would leave your books on the desk, and somebody would say, "Hey, hand me his book over there. Let's see what he does when we're asked to go to page 54. And you would take the books and just keep passing it all the way to the back, and somebody would throw it on. That was the biggest with my group. You tried to grab the books right away or the homework so that they got in trouble and they had to be in charge the next morning. That was ours.
So if someone was to come up to you and say, "Hey, Bob, after all these years, what was it like to be a North Catholic Falcon? What would be your best explanation?"
It was an honor to be a Falcon. I really look back now, and they were tough at the time, our teachers and the priests, but they taught me I learned respect, I would say, more than anything, how to go up and say hello to a person when you see them, how to help someone in need, how important it is to concentrate when you go to your employment office every day and to really give your best. But I think the most that I was taught was how to respect people and how to help another person, because everybody out there, especially in today's world, is in the need of something, and everybody has their own problem, and it's great to be there and help one another. That's what hits me the most.
Yeah. So when you graduated high school, did you wind up going to college?
Yeah, I wound up going to Penn State, and I played ball up at Penn State also. So it took me a while, because as I got older, I still developed more problems health-wise and had to take off for a while and then go back and get it. But I was very happy up at Penn State, and it was nice to see other fellow Falcons up there.
And when you graduated from college, what career did you take on?
I went into marketing and sales. I did a little bit of pharmaceutical sales, and then I went back, and then I guess it was about 11 years ago, I had a new type of seizures coming back, and I had to have left temporal lobe brain surgery. So I've been on disability since then.
Okay.
But my North experiences, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't what I learned.
And it's true. I got kids. I had a bunch of kids go through high school, and now I have our last child getting ready to go through, and we've been having a talk. He's in 8th grade, and I've always told him, high school is what you make of it. And he's like, "Well, what do you mean, Dad?" I said, "Well, if you just go to school and you're just there, you're not going to have fun, but get involved in things, whether it's sports, other clubs, whatever it is." And North Catholic had, they offered us all that stuff, and the guys like you and myself that did this stuff, we had a great time.
Yeah, it was a tremendous experience. Like I said, I look back now and I say I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be able to move on like I was if it wasn't what I learned there.
So in 2010, the news comes out that North Catholic's going to close, and whether it's through the news channel or through friends or whatever, what goes through your mind? I mean, how are you feeling when you get that word that North Catholic is gone? It's closing its doors for good.
It was a really, really bad feeling because I know what a benefit that part of my life was, and that others weren't going to be able to have everything that the Oblates put out. And it really hurt a lot. It was hurting my dad too, also being a graduate in '66. And I still look back today and it's sad that that part of our world isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And every brother Falcon that I see out there, it's kind of the same feeling across the board. But what makes us great from the school that we went to, all of us stay together. You could go 30 years without seeing a classmate. Then the minute you bump into them on the street, it's like they were there yesterday. It's a great feeling to have with one another who went to North.
Have you attended any of the North and summer reunions?
Yes, I have been down there a few times. I even had, I guess it was about 2 years ago, we had a 1987 reunion. And it was great time seeing everybody again. And I'm looking forward to going to the shore this year again.
You know, it's one of the reasons why I started this was, number one, the school not being around anymore. And I had the opportunity on my previous channel before it got shut down to interview some really classic guys from the 1940s, because these are stories that, you know, if they're not told, you know, we'll wind up going to the grave with people. And that's why, you know, I think this was a great idea. And I appreciate you from coming on and sharing your story. But like,
Well, I love what you do. It means a lot. And it's funny that you said that. I went out yesterday and updated my dad's North close. And I happened to be online, and a gentleman saw my post on Facebook, and here he was graduated in '52 and never knew that we had this material out there. So I ran back, got him some things, and just sent them out. It's great to see that, the way we all communicate.
and you know, when you're at the reunion, whether it's, you know, talking about like, you know, hey, how you been, this and that, but always a portion of that story is, hey, do you remember this? You remember that? This happened, that happened. I mean, am I right or wrong?
You're 100% right.
And so if the guys are going to sit there at the bar and tell it, why not jump on Falcons, the Men of North Catholic, like yourself, and share that great story and get a good laugh?
I appreciate you having me here. What you do, I think it means the world to all of us, and we love to talk and to communicate. This is how we stay together.
Absolutely. Hey, Bob, is there anything that you wanted to mention? Anything else you want to throw out there? Any shout outs, anything?
I just wanted to shout out to all my other fellow Falcons. I look forward to seeing everyone down the shore. And again, we'll have another great get together, and I look really forward to that. And thank you for what you do and keeping us moving and staying in touch with one another.
Absolutely. I do appreciate your time, Bob, and I wish you all the best. I hope that everything goes well with your health. Always stay in touch with me, man, because we all have our own health battles, you know. I was fighting colon cancer, so doing good. So you know, that's what we're here for. Hey, like they said, no Falcon fights alone.
That's the truth. And what you do, like I said, is incredible. And I thank you for that. And I will keep you in my prayers also.
All right, Bob, you take care. Stay safe once all this COVID nonsense goes away, finally for good, maybe. And maybe we'll see each other at the reunion.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, Bob, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.